Hello there, and this is Lindsay Upton, the Quilt Quine, and I'm going to go over basic block markers. I have set up the safe area on my practice quilt, which is indicated by this red rectangle on the screen. I've put some basic blocks into my design center, and I'm going to choose one of them and just put it somewhere in the safe area. There it is. This one is called One Wally. So I have drawn out some blocks on my practice piece with just a pen, and I'm going to show the system where the corners of that block are. So I go to the pin head, which is the icon for markers, and I'm going to go over to the sew head to set each of the four corners up. On the machine's screen, I've got the option to press set when I'm at each of the corners. So I click set, move to the next corner, set, third corner, set, fourth corner, set. And that is shown on the screen with those four red little squares. Next, I'm going to connect those markers to indicate more clearly where the edge of the block lies. So click Connect Markers, and I'm going to click around the square. And I shall get lines, black lines, in fact. There we go. And I'm also going to click Center, and it will indicate with a red cross where the center of that block is, even if it's a slightly wonky block. So I'm happy with that now, and I'll give it a green tick. As you can see, the lines have gone blue, which means they can be sewn. You may wish to sew this, or you may wish to remove that later, which I probably will. Next thing to do is drag the block design into the block. And as you can see, it's quite small. So now I have the option to resize. So I shall go to the resize icon. And I can either type in a size using the keypad, or I can just pull out this green toggle with my mouse. So that's what I'm going to do, and make it a bit bigger. There we go. And I shall say that size is okay, and I'll just drag the figure into the block. Now I also have the option here to rotate that little figure, which is this icon here, the circle with an arrow. And I think I'm going to tilt it by 45 degrees. So now it fits in like that. Quite happy with that, so I'm going to give it a green check. The next thing that I will need to do is click this outer blue line so it goes red, and then I'm going to put that into the trash can because I don't want that line to be sewn. So it looks like my little figure is ready to sew. I think what would be wise would be to save this project, because if I wanted to repeat this block all over the rest of my quilt, I wouldn't have to set it all up from scratch again. So I shall just go to File, Save, Save Project, and it will have a little think. I will give it a name. So this was the last project I did, so I shall not call it that. I will call it Wally Block. Type that in on my keyboard. Save. So now I can come back to that another time. So now I can go to the play or start, and I want it to go to the start point. The machine, the sew head, will move itself to where the project should begin. So then I go across to the sew head to bring up the bobbin thread. that, I'll hang on to the thread tails, press green for go on the machine, and it will start stitching. And the sewing is complete, so I'll just say okay. Then I will go back across to the sew head to lift my bobbin thread up. And snip. Push the sew head out of the way. Now, if I come back over to the screen, the figure has gone grey because it has been stitched out, and I can go and set up the next block. So first of all, though, I will have to clear the markers for that block. So I'll go to the pin head, the marker icon, and I will clear the markers. Green tick. Now, if I click my little figure, she goes red, which means I can move her over into the safe area and possibly out of the way, while I set up the next block by adding the markers and adding the center point, and then I can put her into the new block and maybe even tip it in a different direction. And that's that, quite simply.